Alright, we're here to talk about these keys. These are ham keys. The one on the left is that iambic paddle. It's model HK-1, and this is the model HK-3M, as in Mary. And these were made many years ago in St. Louis, Missouri. These were I guess the poor man's version of the Browns Brothers key. And I believe Browns Brothers was also a St. Louis, Missouri company. I don't know if this was made under the same roof or it was just simply a knockoff company to make them cheaper. The Browns Brothers keys are made of all metal, if not almost all metal. And these, you can see everything red is plastic. So I decided to do a video about these keys now because I'm going to give this one away. I have a buddy who he's licensed and he's not interested in CW whatsoever, but I figure if he had a key to play with, he might get interested, so that would be nice. So on an earlier video I mentioned there's something broken with these keys, and it has to do with the plastic. So this is the first key I ever got. It was at a pawn shop, and I noticed it there before I even got my technician's license, and I just thought, hey, that's pretty cool. So I bought it for $20, and which is a great deal for the key. And what happened soon after was on the side here. See if I can zoom in a little bit. Will it let me focus? I don't know. No, it's not going to let me focus much. But, so this little nut here, there used to be two of them. One would spin freely and you could kind of set the distance of the action. But this screw going down in through there goes into the plastic. There's no metal bushing in there. It just goes into the plastic. Well, that's stripped out because this plastic is old and it gets brittle. So that's stripped out. So what I did is I removed one of these nuts and then just took the other one, flipped it over, and epoxied it. So there's just a thin layer of epoxy on this and going on to you might be able to see it, onto the body. You can see a little glop of epoxy there. So I just epoxied that on there. So the only control to it is just one screw, which is fine. But one thing I noticed was that where this bar goes into these plastic things, it kind of wears out a little bit, and you can kind of see a little play in that. So it works great. The fact that there is play in that makes it quiet, just no real mechanical clicking sounds, but it kind of has a little dull action. So that is where I'm at with this key. I've used it a lot. I got started on it. You can get them pretty cheap on eBay, but these things are plastic, and I thought maybe this was a fluke. And but I got this key because I wanted it to match with the straight key, and I really like this key, and I got it on eBay I think for $40–50. But when it arrived, I don't know if you can see it, there's a little gloss of epoxy here. This whole thing just broke out. It was just broken off and exposed this this piece right here. So this part broke. So I was very upset. Wrote the seller, and there's like, oh, I'm sorry, didn't know they were that fragile. And he offered me to take it money off, because I figured I could repair it. I've repaired the straight key with epoxy, and I did this. I put the piece back on carefully, put a layer of epoxy on, the clear kind, let it dry, and then put another layer on, let it dry, put another layer. I put 3 layers of epoxy on there, where the epoxy goes down onto the base, so it's almost like reconstructing the whole piece. So I know that that's there, but it works. But it's just kind of it's just my experience with these particular keys. If you're starting out or you're just wanting to collect keys, and if you're interested in some of these models of keys, just be wary that these are plastic and they can break, because both of these are broke. I fixed them. This one kind of fixed. It works, but it's not, doesn't have the functionality that it used to have as far as adjustments. But I can get it with good action. And this here, I fixed it in a way so it works perfectly. The action of this is very smooth. When I do clean and lubricate these, I use either sewing machine oil or Tri-Flow. And you know, I take this all apart, put Tri-Flow in there, so it absolutely scents like a beast, and I love it. But just keep in mind, it's plastic. You might have to do a little repair. So that's about it for my talk about the model HK-3M and the model HK-1, which are cool looking keys, nice vintage keys. This one's been with me ever since the beginning, but I wanted to do this little talk about these keys before I give this guy a new home. All right, 7-3.